17 Papa John's under 21 boys men's and ladies provincial championship, brought to you by Bell Alliant TV1, and we're here at Curl Moncton. My name is Marianne Power, and I'm here with Jacques Robichaud.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to have you listening and watching to our coverage of the New Brunswick Papa John Junior Championship. And there goes the first rock thrown by Nolan.
So today, this is a B final, Jacques. So it's a triple knockout. So Liam Marin won the A final, and this is the B final between actually the same teams, Liam Marin and Michael Donovan. And it looks like Marin has hammer, and we're looking for a pretty good game again today. They've had a pretty good game yesterday as well.
Yeah, Donovan's team through first, and they chose to go into the house. So I guess we'll be seeing, as we often do in first inning competitive play, that it's a takeout game to start the game.
They try, even though they have a 10-minute practice before the game. Sometimes they still need to kind of feel each other out in the first end, and it's not too often at this level that they start with guards right away and start attacking. So
and we just saw that they hit and rolled out, and Nolan's throwing his second rock, and Donovan has called for in the house too, I believe. Sweeping, should make the 12-foot, maybe the 8.
Nice throw there by Josh. Yeah. So Liam is going to continue and with the removing these rocks. They're not giving a whole lot of ice either, so there's not a really big curl. They seem to be throwing a nice control weight and able to remove these rocks.
Dylan McDonald, the lead for Liam Marin's rink, is throwing his second rock. That will knock Donovan's stone out, and he'll probably stay around the edge of the 12-foot.
Edge of the 12-foot. So Matt McGee now throwing for Michael Donovan.
Matt McGee played for Liam Marin in the U18 Canadian Championships last April here in Moncton. Mm-hmm. He was Liam's lead.
It's not curling a whole lot out on the wings either. He didn't give a whole lot of ice, and that weight looks real nice. Yeah. It looks like he's going to stick around a little, I think. Oh, no.
No. Yeah, just rolls out. Didn't have much room to roll there.
No,
not on the outside.
Not being way out there for sure. Yeah. So Liam now electing to go to test out the other side of the rings here. So asking his
brother Felipe,
yeah, to throw a draw on the other side of the rings.
Moving the rocks around a bit.
And it's good at this point in time to see, they do have a 10-minute practice before the game, and they get to see what the ice does in different spots. But sometimes there's some spots where you're not quite sure how things are going to go. So Felipe coming up a little bit short there. And Michael Donovan not wanting to mess around with anything out front, so he's electing to clean out the front here, even though that rock is way over guarding part of the 8-foot ring on the side there. So Matt McGee throwing peel weight here, looking to remove that rock totally out of play, and his shoe to probably go as well. Successfully done.
Yep. Rolls out. Felipe will be throwing a second stone.
So we'll keep you posted. There's 2 other games here as well. On sheet 7, Lewis is playing Peasley, and on sheet 8 is Tracy and Robichaud. And our feature game is Donovan and Marin. So we'll keep you posted with the other 2 games as well.
This one, you're going to have to bring it, sweep it to make it to the rings. You should make it.
Looks a little bit short as well.
Yeah. Just short. And Donovan is probably going. Yeah, he stays to. But this time he wants knock that one out and roll into the rings.
So now throwing is Donovan Lontang. Now throwing for Team Donovan. And they're looking at then Matt McGee sweeping here, trying to keep it as straight as possible. Although it seems to be really moving. He might have started that a little bit, so he's going to roll out with his rock as well.
And Liam calling this one on the other side in the rings. And Smith throwing, Tyler Smith throwing for Marin, throwing third rocks.
So I don't think the ice would have changed very much from yesterday. Yesterday afternoon or morning. These two teams played here yesterday morning.
On sheet 9.
On sheet 9, yeah. So.
Yep. And Tyler Smith comes up a bit short.
Michael Donovan not wanting any part of any of the guards out there, so he's asking for peel weight from Donovan Lontang.
Bit of sweeping here.
Nicely done.
Yeah. Liam calling Tyler Smith's second stone in the house too, calling for it to be in the house.
Sweeper slightly keeping it clean. This one looks pretty good, Jacques, to bring that in the rings.
Yeah,
Once it hits the hog line, it seems to really move, and once it starts to move, the weight comes off very quickly.
That is.
That's
just made it. I think he could be biting.
Yeah, he is. He's in the 12-foot, not totally in, but in enough that. So Michael Donovan will want to roll into the rings and try to force Liam to hit as well. This is Michael Donovan with his first rock. With the broom right in the middle of the rock, so you know there's not a whole lot of movement there.
No, he's probably throwing quite a bit of weight on this one with that broom. Doesn't seem to.
Well, he wants to stick around as well, hoping to force Liam to hit. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice roll into the rings, onto the 8-foot ring. Well done. Good call by the sweepers, letting the Josh know what how much weight was thrown, so that Josh can call the sweeping appropriately. So Liam looking at removing this rock, so he's probably looking to have a little bit of a roll somewhere to force Michael Donovan to look in at a different spot for his takeout as well. So Liam at this point certainly wants to try to stay in the rings to force Michael Donovan to hit as well.
Marin has the hammer in the first end, so it'll be up to him to choose if he likes the end or not, if everything plays out like it seems to be playing.
Bit of a roll.
Just rolled out.
Just rolled out. So this gives Michael a chance to throw a draw to see what draw weight's like. And Liam didn't throw a whole lot of weight on that takeout either, so the rings are a bit lively right now.
Well, Girl Mountain has new rocks that they purchased last spring, so they're quite a bit more lively than the old rocks that Girl Mountain had before.
And I was told last week that they did resurface them last week, earlier last week.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
as well. So Michael Donovan with his last rock in the first end. Brusher's not touching it. Looks pretty good. It might be behind the tee line, but
It's sticking around back 8.
back 8, back 12, yep.
Yeah. Well, that helps out Liam if he wants to blank the end, because his stone won't have to roll far to
That's right.
go out of the rings.
That's right. First things first, you have to make it go away and then worry about the roll afterwards. You
Yes.
want to don't count your chickens before the eggs are hatched. And again with the broom on the side of the rock, so he's going to be a fair amount of weight here probably, which there is. Should get a piece of that.
Pretty good. Yeah. Hits and rolls out. So, as we thought, the first end is blank. It was playing out that way, and that's what they ended up doing.
So Michael Donovan looking, asking Josh to, I didn't notice the indication, Jock, so actually it looks like he wants to go into the rings.
I didn't notice either, but it looks like we...
Yeah. So sometimes they talk to each other and we don't see what the call is, so it leaves us guessing a little bit.
It's going to be tough at 12.
Yep. Top 12, so.
Liam is calling for a corner guard.
Yeah. Looking to go a little bit on the offense.
Yeah.
Because that rock is way up in the top of the 12 foot, so he's not overly concerned about that rock at the present time, so he wants to try to generate a little bit of offense. So you never know, he could get a hit and roll behind a corner guard or a cornerstone or draw behind it.
It's not curling that much, but it'll be up there. Nice corner guard on the 4-foot line.
So now Michael asking Josh to just tap this rock back a bit. So he's looking at trying to generate a little bit of offense in a different way. So just if you could tap that straight back, or a little bit of an angle would make it a little bit harder for Liam to remove this. Brushes laying back a little bit. A little bit of dusting. Kind of looks a little bit hot.
He's got the tap back on an ankle, though, not straight back.
Well, that's good. He's now sitting 2 in the ring, so Liam now has to deal with this. It's behind the tee line, so he's looking at trying to get some kind of a roll in behind those front stones. It's totally exposed from what we can see up here.
That still has to curl a bit. Might get a piece of it, but he won't get the inside roll. No, he hits and rolls up.
So now Michael looking, asking Matt McGee to try to promote this rock a few feet.
Same shot he called the last time.
It is. Matt McGee from Curl Moncton.
Has to curl some to be able to get the straight tap back. And a bit of
A bit of a split there.
Yeah.
So
It's not bad. His first one is a bit covered, but not. I think there's plenty of room for Liam to get to it.
I think so. Liam indicated to his brother Felipe to hit, and looks like the double is a possibility here. And that's what he's looking at. The rocks are positioned as such. Tyler trying to keep it a bit on the straight side, not from curling too much.
He's by the guard.
Just by.
Not enough to get the second one.
No. So Michael Donovan looking at trying to split the rocks up a little bit, so asking Matt McGee to hit and just get a little roll towards that that cornerstone. So in the first end on the other sheets, Lewis and Peasley, they blanked the first end, they're in their second. Robichaud and Tracy, Robichaud took one in the first end, and they're in their second end as well. So a bit of a miss here from Matt.
Liam not going after that blue rock on the edge of the 12-foot. He's leaving that, and he wants to place this one behind his corner guard.
Yeah, because at this point, even if he goes after that one way over on the other side, there's a chance he could roll out, or if he gets a nose hit, he probably wouldn't be in the ring. So this way, at least he gets the opportunity to bring one behind his front cornerstone.
Seems to be coming in nice.
They certainly have a lot of room to get by that guard.
Yeah, could have been a bit tighter.
They certainly don't want to set him up for double, so a little bit behind the tee line. Double possibility is a little bit tougher there, although Donovan can still roll in front of that one, which is the indication he's asking Donovan Lontang to do, to kind of hit and just kind of get a little bit of a flop over on the left-hand side of the rings. Curling a lot.
Got it. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Papa John's, main sponsor, and then there's Bobley Productions, Modern Construction, Shoppers Drug Mart, and Bell Alliant TV. Thank you for your contributions. Without your help, we wouldn't be able to put on these events.
Tyler throwing, he's getting a nose hit out of this. They're having a little bit of a hard time to try to get behind that cornerstone. So Michael Donovan going to ask Donovan Lontang to try to do it this time, to hit and just get a bit of a roll, see if he can pull it off with his second shot. Donovan's from the Bathurst area, so he's teamed up with three of the Moncton boys.
Donovan Lontang also played with Liam Green in the U18, Canadian U18 last year.
Another nose hit. So Liam now looking just to get a nose hit from Tyler.
Tyler is originally from Prince Edward Island. He's studying at the Transport Training Center here in Moncton. It's a little bit of roll.
Nicely done. That's a good spot for that.
So Marin is lying 1 and 2. Still has last rock.
So it's going to be a hard rock to remove. So Michael's going to have to be very, very careful and make sure he stays in the rings. So he's looking at removing that that
The one in the back 8.
the one in the back, Marin's rock in the back of the 8-foot, and he really needs to stick around there as well. So it does take a little bit of time before it starts to curl over on this side. I think once it gets off the center line, then you'll see some movement. And what we've been seeing after the hog line, it seems to move a bit more. But again, you got to make sure you have the right weight to get it there. That's for sure.
Now, why would Donovan choose to take it out rather than draw up against it?
Well, it's a choice that you have. So he might not be comfortable with trying to freeze to it, and if he stops too short and gives Liam a hit,
he's got a chance for 3.
Liam could be sitting 3.
Yeah.
So he really needs to. Oh, it's going to roll out. It looks like he's still biting back there. So, but I think he's number 3.
3, yeah.
He looks like he's number 3 back there. So
Yeah, from our angle, it looks like
yeah.
Marin is 1, Donovan is 2, and Marin is 3.
Yeah, but the danger thing now for the Donovan team, depending where Liam puts this rock, they can still, the Marine team can still make a play on those 2 rocks in the top of the rings there and get multiples here. So this is really crucial for Liam to put his rock and really try to bury it behind that cornerstone. That'll make it a lot tougher for Michael to do anything with it.
Yeah.
The ice has been fairly quick from what we've seen. Rushers going at it fairly early.
Smith saying no
It's
line.
to come over. Yeah, it's wide open. They need to try to let it go a bit. Starting to move now. Here's a nice shot.
Yeah. Right where Liam had asked for.
Here's a really nice shot. Yeah. So this is a tricky spot. So at this point in time, Michael might have to look at trying to freeze on that rock and make sure he gets there for number 2, because otherwise Liam can certainly get multiples, especially by removing that blue rock over on the right hand side of the rings. I'm not sure that he can remove it from play, and he has to be very careful, because if he just taps it back, then he might give Liam an out for multiple points, but he's indicated that he wants to freeze right up onto that rock.
The shot has to be perfect almost.
Mm-hmm. As long as he's second shot, like biting the 8-foot, that's what he's looking at and making sure that Liam cannot remove it from play.
Dangerous if he's just a bit heavy, he just taps and rolls off of it, and he's open for
3.
For 3, take out for 3 for Marin.
Mm-hmm.
On its way. They haven't touched it yet, sweepers now they're on it.
The weight looks pretty good. Rushers going at it pretty hard.
It's by the guard. It's coming in.
Oh, there's a nice shot. Very nice.
Shot.
Perfect. And that's the best he could do in this type of situation, because it wasn't there to remove. So, and this way, Liam has an open draw for 2. Well, open in a way, but he has to be almost on the 4-foot. But it's still no easy task. So even if he gave 2, at least it's a good thing, because at least it wasn't more than that. And the way the end shaped up, it was looking that there was a possibility for a lot more than 2.
Liam should know the way because he just threw that other one about the same spot. He needs to throw this one same weight. This one seems nice.
Looks pretty good. Oh. Wow.
That just, they slipped
Oh
a bit too much.
Wow.
A break here for Donovan.
That was a break for Donovan. So you were watching the 2017 Papa John Under 21 Men's and Ladies Provincial Championship here at Curl Moncton, brought to you by Bell Alliant TV1.
And this draw is playing out, start at 1:30. Next draw will be at 6:30, so you're invited to come down to Curl Moncton to take in the game live. There's some exciting curling, and you're seeing the future of curling not only in New Brunswick, but in Canada. Some of these teams will make it to the Canadian Championships, juniors, and maybe eventually to the Briard and the Scotties.
And this is a big year for curling as well, because 2018 we've got the Olympics going. So we have the Olympic trials happening in Ottawa at the present time.
Yes, and I'll be taking in a few of those games at the end of the week.
Oh, nice. So Liam going in, electing to go in, and Michael Donovan now looking at putting up a cornerstone to try to generate some offense for his team. Just to take note, Jacques, too, on the ladies' side, there were 4 teams, and Justine Como won the A bracket as well as the B bracket, so she is undefeated. So this evening at 6:30, Samantha Crook will be playing Erica Clough, and the winner of that game will be playing Como. Now, should Justine Como win that game, that'll be it for the ladies' side.
It'll be all over.
Yeah, so she would have to be beaten. It's a triple knockout for the ladies as well. So there are 3 teams left in the ladies' play.
An update on sheet. On another sheet, the Peasley has taken a 1-0 lead on Lewis after 2 ends.
This is Josh Nolan with his second rock, and Michael has asked them to remove the front rock that was just put there in the rings.
I think he might be looking for 2 here.
Probably, yeah. Josh is 17 years old, and he's from Moncton. His dad, Daryl, is coaching this team, and Daryl is well known across the Maritime provinces as well as nationally. He's coached a number of teams at the provincial and national level.
That was a good stone, a good throw by Josh. He did remove both stones, and he stuck around at the top of the 12-foot.
That's a nice shot.
Felipe Marin is about to throw. Felipe is 19, older brother to Liam. This is his last year of eligibility, I believe. I saw that somewhere. Although it's U21, he's only 19.
Nose hit there in front of the rings. Matt McGee now throwing for Team Donovan, so he is asked to promote that front stone there, because where that yellow centerline rock is not necessarily a big concern for them. He really wants to try to utilize that cornerstone, so Matt will try to promote that rock, hopefully in front of the tee line. It really takes a while before it starts to make a movement.
It does. Here it comes now. They switch sweepers.
It's going to get a piece of it, but how much? A little bit of an angle, but that's okay. He's still able to promote it.
is open if Liam decides to remove it, and I think that's what he's called for. Hit and roll behind those two rocks in front. Going with quiet weight so far for takeouts. Mostly
Well, the
quiet
rings being so lively, you really want to stick around as well. So that was a nice shot. Partly buried behind that front stone. So Michael Donovan looking at doing a raised takeout. Matt McGee with his second rock. Matt is from Riverview, and he's 19 years old. Curling out of a curl mountain here. And that seems to be moving. Does he get it? Sure he does. And he's going to stick around. Nice stone. And Liam having a look at his front stone to see if the blue rock touched the yellow one into the rings. Having a bit of a difficulty to tell. But he's probably still going to look at, as indicated, hitting and rolling behind one of those front rocks, I should say.
Tyler Smith getting ready to throw. He's 19 years old. Has been curling for 13 years. I think he's missed it.
Oh dear.
Well,
he might have started that on the way out. Hard to tell because Dylan got on pretty well right away, trying to keep it straight. It's hard to tell what happened there from up here.
Donovan seems to be calling to promote his.
He's looking at promoting the other rock on the other side of the rings there, trying to get a second rock in there. Donovan Lontang with now throwing for Team Donovan. The rocks really like to hug the outside part of that 4-foot line, although and after the hog line they seem to want to move in a bit, so he's going to...
That looks not too bad. Maybe a bit out there too much.
A little bit,
open.
I think most of it is open on the other side of the rings, but so Liam can still get at it, just behind the tee line over there. Although Liam's going for the one way over on the left-hand side, they're trying to get a roll in. So I guess he's not overly concerned right now, especially too because that rock landed in the bit of behind the 4-foot. So and Liam calling the sweeper right away. Felipe working hard on this, yeah, trying to keep it as straight as he can.
Just rolls by the rock in the back 4-foot and he goes out.
So he might have turned that in a little bit because it started sweeping right away. So Michael looking at bringing a second rock in there, partly around that front stone. So Donovan going to attempt to do that. So it's really important to try to go like a little bit buried around that front stone.
In the other game that is into the third end after 2, Tracy scored 3 in the second inning. He's up 3-1 against Robichaud. He just goes by the
nice weight.
front yellow.
Most of it is exposed, but it's going to be a little tricky to try to get both those out. So I think he's looking at promoting his own back into the 2 in the back, and there certainly is a possibility to get a double that way. And you know what, Jock? He could even roll his shooter behind that corner stone, and he could be sitting too after the shot.
Yeah. But that's a perfect scenario for him.
It is, yeah. Yeah, he's just got to hit it in the right spot there. Probably a good half. There's a few different possibilities here because the angle raised double is there, but he has to be careful as well because that rock that was just put there by Donovan, that could jam on the back and still stay in the rings.
He's concerned about something. He's going back down the ice.
Well, I think there's a discussion about exactly where to hit this.
Yeah, and I think probably he got in the hat and he saw that he maybe had more room going instead of promoting his. They're still looking.
Yeah, I think they were just discussing where the rocks need to hit, I think, in order to get the two blues out of there.
Interesting fact about Liam, he's 17 years old and he's been curling for 14 years. So imagine starting to curl at 3.
He was probably curling before he could walk.
Close to it. I would imagine he spent the better part of his life on the ice.
Probably. Coming down with a fair amount of weight here.
It's hugging the center line as it goes down. That's what he needs to do. He got one. And will he stick now?
No, both his yellows are off the rings.
Yeah.
So it was very touchy as to where exactly he had to hit. So I think that his rock might have curled a bit too much. So Michael Donovan looking at adding another rock in the rings to try to generate his 2. So Michael is from Moncton and he's 19 years old. He's been curling for 5 years here at Curl Moncton.
So Liam has the advantage on Donovan in that range, the number of years they've been curling.
Yes. Curling's a funny game. It doesn't matter how long you've been curling because anything can happen.
True. Yeah. If he places this rock where he called for it, he'd be looking good for a deuce here.
They got on it very quickly, so there must be some. Oh, it's going to rub. I think so. Can we get it in? Looks like it's just in. Yep, top 12 foot. So, yeah, there was some late movement there, so they were able just to get a little bit of a rub and then roll onto the rings. Now Liam is looking at trying to hit and roll behind those front stones. So this is Liam's last rock, so really needs a roll.
Liam is from Rothsay, and he curls out of the Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club.
Weight looks pretty good. Is he going to get enough curl? There, it's starting to move now after the hog line. Going to get a roll?
Yes, he is.
Oh, that's nice.
Really nice
shot.
Stone.
So Michael has 2 rocks that he can promote, but ideally if he could promote the one that is not in the rings and get a nose hit out of this,
I think that's what
he could get his 2.
He just threw his broom up it with that angle.
Yeah, this is the one you want to go for in order to get your 2 out of this end. So hit it just off nose. So it'll be important for the sweepers to let Josh know the weight, and Josh will be calling the line down there. So both these teams, Jacques, will be back on the ice this evening. So the Donovan team will be playing the winner of the Robichaud-Tracy team, and the Marin team will be playing the winner of Lewis and Peasley. And that's at 6:30 here at Curl Moncton.
Lewis and Paisley, they blanked the third end, so it's still 1-0 for Peasley, playing in the fourth. And 3-0 for Tracy over Robichaud, still playing in the third.
And this is the last rock in the third end by Michael Donovan, so looks pretty close.
It's curling a bit too much.
Oh, a little too much, yep.
So a steal of one for Liam Marin. Goes up 2-0.
So he might have started that a bit because they didn't call the sweeping right away.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was gone when it came out of his hands. It's hard to tell at this point in time.
So Dylan McDonald is getting ready to throw his first stone. He's a student from Aramaktu, curls out of the Gage Golf and Curling Club. He's been curling for 7 years. Dylan is a past U15 provincial champion. And just past distinction, he received an award from the town of Aramaktu for representing them on a provincial level in curling.
Nice shot by Dylan.
Just biting the back of the button.
So Michael Donovan looking at going on the attack again with another corner guard. He's asked Josh Nolan to throw it up there. Josh is 17 years old. He's a grade 12 student at the École Odyssée in Moncton. And he's been curling for 11 years. And he participated in the 2017 Capital City Slam and the 2017 Summerside Full Fling.
Josh, as you mentioned before, his father's the coach of the team, but his mother is a fairly well-known curler in the province too.
She is, yeah. Denise. Denise has been around for a while. For those of us who've had the opportunity to curl against her, great curler.
Yes.
And she's got quite a few accomplishments as well.
So he has strong family ties in curling.
He does.
Now Dylan's second stone here.
So Dylan's curling at 75%, so he's having a pretty decent game.
It just comes up short of the 12-foot. Partial cover, but not too much.
So Josh throwing his second shot. He's curling at 92%, so he's having a really good game.
To be leaving. Oh, now they're on it.
Starting to move now. That weight looks really good.
Yep.
Nicely done.
So that'll help his average.
Certainly help his average. Those are pretty well glued together, aren't they?
Yeah, Felipe Marin in the hack.
So Felipe is also curling at 75%.
Felipe's been curling for 16 years, so, and he's 19 years of age, so again, he started at 3, same as his brother.
So no sneakers to start off. They started with curling shoes.
Yeah.
Slider.
I don't think I knew what the curling game was until I was 5. 6.
They're looking at trying to sit on top of those two rocks on the button.
needs to move some more. Still a ways to come, but it is coming.
There might be a little bit of separations once
Yeah.
this rock comes to a stop. Oh, not a whole lot. No. So this gives the opportunity for Michael to add another one in there. So they're going to eventually probably play some angles. So asking Matt McGee for his first rock to freeze one into that pile. So Matt McGee is he's 19 years old. He's a student at NBCC, and he's from Riverview. He's been curling for 15 years. He played in the U18 Nationals last year with Marin, and he played in the Kennycoats and the PEI Fall Fling 2017.
Comes in.
It's a nice shot.
It is.
Then Michael wanted it over a little bit, but this isn't. It's not a bad spot. Starting to look at different angles here with the rocks accumulating around that button. So
If he comes in hard on his own on an angle, he could get the one on the button out, but
He'd
he'd
lose.
lose his own, and he'd lose a shooter.
going to throw a lot of weight here, I think.
Yep. Felipe is four-time New Brunswick under-18 champion, a second NMate, 2014 Atlantic U18 champion. Oh, it's off
Clip the
of-
front.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad shot because
No.
at least that rock is out of the way. So gives Liam a little more room on both sides of the rings now, depending on what Michael does here.
Seems to want to pile up the rope, but no, he's changing his mind. He's looking at maybe putting up a guard there.
Centerline stone, yeah. So Matt with his second rock. Matt's curling at 67%. He's got a lot of moving to do.
I think
They changed their
plan B.
they changed their minds when it was coming down. So
Yeah.
that's a good, not a bad shot.
Yeah.
Good second plan. So it's the good thing for the Donovan team is that both those yellow rocks are behind their own rocks. So
Yeah.
so Liam now has to try to add some of his own color in front of these blue ones so that he doesn't lose his and give up multiple points.
At this point, it looks like Donovan is only lying one, but that could change quick. An update on one of our other sheets. Robichaud scored 3 in the third end, so they're now up 4-3 against Tracy.
They're exchanging field goals.
Yeah.
So Liam asking Tyler to throw a lot of weight here. He wants to move some of that granite off the out of the 4-foot. This is probably a good time to do it with your third's first rock to try to get the rocks positioned so that you can get your own rocks in good position.
This one is coming down with extra weight.
Extra weight. Probably take about 2 seconds to get down here.
That moves them all around.
It moves everything.
Yeah.
I think the only one that didn't move is that back yellow one in the back of the button.
And he's sitting one now.
Sitting one, but there's a few blue ones there that he has to be concerned about. So Michael asking Donovan Lontang to promote his own rock onto the yellow. So Donovan is 19 years old. He's a police student and he works for Sobeys. He's from the Bathurst area and he's been curling for 11 years. And in the past he's won the under 21, under 18, and he's played in the PEI Fall Fling 2017.
Down, and I think just missed.
Just
goes
off.
by it.
And that's unfortunate for him.
Missed opportunity. If she would have hit that, they could have been line 4.
Yes. Double possibility here for Liam. Tyler's playing at 71%.
Tyler's
Oh,
been
they're calling.
calling a timeout.
Yep, they're calling timeout. Well, maybe they're just having a look. Maybe it's not an official timeout then. Did they?
Coaches are coming out. Yep. I believe they have 2 timeouts during the game, eh?
Yes, they do. Each team has 2 timeouts. So they're going to discuss Felipe, the coach, is going to discuss with the team the options here. What is the best option for them at this point in time.
They still seem to be discussing it.
So I think they elected to remove this and probably roll over onto the other, hopefully rolling over onto the other, the Blue Rocks over on the right-hand side of the rings, Jacques, is what they've decided to do, I believe.
And I think he had called for the outturn. Now he's switched over to the intern.
Mm-hmm. Could be a few things happening here. He has 2 rocks that he can sit against, but there's also a bit of a hole there that he could go through. So they really have to be careful how they call this. Calling the sweeper right away. Oh, it's really moving. So Michael Donovan now has the opportunity to remove this yellow rock in the forefoot, back of the forefoot.
I think he'll be looking to hit and stay.
So Donovan's playing, he's curling at 88% for this game. Yeah, he really wants to try to stick there.
That's solid at 88.
Looks like he's going to get some kind of a roll here.
Back, but they stay in.
They're still sitting 4. Would have been good to have sat there. However, you know, he's still in the rings. He gives Liam the opportunity to get some kind of a double here. So
Liam taking no time to make that call and get down to the other end of the ice. Liam's a grade 12 student at Rothsay. And he's won mostly everything in the U18 and the New Brunswick U18 5 times. This is his last year of eligibility for the U18.
The sweeper's off right away.
Oh,
there's a nice shot. Didn't get a double, but still, they're
he's in a not bad position for
still second shot. So Michael Donovan really needs to try to sit there and not disturb his back rock.
Yeah.
So Michael Donovan is 19 years old. He's a student at NBCC with web and mobile app development. He's been curling for 5 years. He's been part of the team who won the 2017 New Brunswick Under 21 mixed, 2017 Summerside Fall Fling. So he's had quite a few accomplishments in his 5-year term. Off and on thing is usually pretty good. Well, that's okay. It's gone.
Marin is just going to try to limit the damage. He can remove these 2 rocks. And Donovan, who was lying 4 at one point, could only store 2. Fun fact here that the Liam Marin lost to his present-day mate, Tyler Smith, in the 2016 Atlantic U18 final.
So Liam curling at 71%. On and off again is usually a pretty good sign. He's got to hit this pretty well right in the middle to get both these out.
Yeah, which is the case.
Which is what he did. Nicely done.
Donovan has to hit and stick and score 2.
And Donovan's curling at 67% today. Their team sponsors are Subway, St. Louis Bar and Grill, and Maritime Textiles. So we have major sponsors for the championship, but each team usually tries to go out and get team sponsors to help defray costs during their curling season. So it certainly is appreciated with all the support that they get from sponsorship to help them out during their season.
Yes, the Marine team are sponsored by Sorensen Center of Curling Excellence. This one seems to be pretty good.
So he did get his 2.
So we're after 4 ends, we're tied at 2.
So you are watching the Papa John's 2017 New Brunswick Provincial Under 21 Men's and Ladies Championship. And this is brought to you by Bell Alliant TV1. And alongside with Papa John being the major sponsor, there are other sponsors who help to provide to make sure that this championship goes smoothly, and that is Bob Lee Productions, Modern Construction, 1983 Limited Office, and Shoppers Drug Mart. And we thank you very much for your sponsorship into this tournament.
Without the sponsorship, these events could not happen, so it is very appreciated. Just update on the other 2 games. As soon as they move off of the scoreboard there, I think Robichaud is still 1 in the 4th, so they're up 5-3 now. And Lewis has scored 1 in the 4th, so that game is tied 1-1 after 4. In this game, we're 2-2 going into the 5th end.
I think they've elected to play a pretty open end in this one, where the game is tied to go into their 5th end break.
Dylan throwing his first. And stick. Josh Nolan getting set for his, and Donovan Michael is called for a removal.
Nice weight by Josh. He's having a really solid game.
He hits, and is he going to stick? Just
It's good. Nice shot.
the edge of the 12-foot. As we mentioned, it's always nice when you can see these games live. So come on down to the Curl-Moncton Curling Club corner of Lockard and Essex. Maybe a bit of a difficulty finding parking because we're in the process of expanding the facilities. So there is some construction work going on, but people can park on the Limerick side of Kiwanis Park and walk down between the Kiwanis Ballpark and the Dud James Arena to get to the Curl-Moncton entrance.
Still keeping the rings a little bit clean.
Yes.
The Marin team rolling out on that shot. So we got Matt McGee. Now Michael Donovan's looking at trying to bring one in just tight to the rings.
I don't know if it'll happen next year or the year after, but we'll be curlers will be looking at the 5-rock rule soon.
Oh. I know there's a lot of talk about it, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think they're trying to evaluate, look at the pros and cons, and then go from there. So we'll have to wait for the
official
Curling Federation to come down with a decision.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it affects the game.
I know at one point they were also talking going to 8 ends, so I don't know how far along those talks are. So Michael Donovan looking at adding another front stone up there. Successfully done.
And Liam will be.
And Liam wants to clean house. He doesn't want anything up there right now. And they each have 38 minutes of talk time to play the game. So sometimes it's good to play a couple ends like this to bank a little bit of time. So each team still having above 21 minutes to play. So they're certainly not tight with time at all. They're fairly quick.
Yes, 25 minutes left for the Donovan team, and almost 23 minutes for the Marin team. So not much happening as far as offense in this end.
So on sheet 7, they're in their 5th end break. So Cody Lewis is up on Peasley, Alex Peasley, 2-1. That's a really tight game there. And as stated on sheet 8, Alex Robichaud Peter Robichaud, sorry. I didn't think that sounded right, sorry. Peter Robichaud is up on Adam Tracy 5-3, and they're in their 5th end. And we are tied at 2-2 between Michael Donovan and Liam Marin, and we're in the 5th end. And this is the B bracket final, and Liam Marin did win the A bracket, so it's a triple knockout for these teams. So there's 6 teams, 6 boys teams left. And as far as the ladies goes, Justine Como won A bracket as well as B bracket. And this evening, Samantha Crook will be playing Erica Clough, and that's at 6:30. And the winner of that game will be playing the Como team for the C bracket final.
That's tomorrow morning, right?
And the C bracket final will be tomorrow morning, but that other game is being played this evening at 6:30.
So we have a guard. Stone stayed there, so Donovan can use this and try to hide behind. He's looking to steal.
This is his first of 2 rocks. Pretty clean end, this one.
Yeah.
Brusher's keeping an eye on it. Starting to move now. Early movement with this one.
He seems to be on the
I think
front
they're
guard.
on the front. Wow,
Yeah.
that had big movement.
And we'll tap it in. Oh, big mistake.
Yeah. That had early movement, so I don't know if that might have grabbed something on the ice or whether he might have started it. So it's hard to tell from this angle what happened there. But Liam with last rock is probably happy with the way turn of those events. Unfortunate for the Donovan team.
So he's probably looking to split the house.
Somehow, yeah. Or he's going behind the guard, I think, or we'll see. Oh, yeah, so he's looking probably splitting the house.
Throwing his first.
Weight looks pretty good. Well, depends on where it's going to stop because the ice is fairly quick. Oh wow!
And around.
Gone through.
Oh,
Wow.
And they were sweeping that, coming down, brushing that.
So now for Michael, looking at trying to get a little bit of a roll in behind that front stone to force Liam to take one or to steal himself. So we'll see where this one ends up. So Michael Donovan with his last rock. Some soft takeout weight. Looking to get a bit of a curl out of this. It's staying pretty straight there.
It is hugging the line.
No movement at all.
He's going to roll out, so
Roll out. So it'll be a blank for Liam. So once this rock clears, we will be taking a short break, 15 break.
with the game tied at 2.
And we'll be back after the break with the last half of the game.
As expected, he threw it through. So see you in a few minutes. back, and Josh Nolan is getting ready to throw his first. Remind you that it's 2-2 after 5 ends, halfway there.
Just to remind you, you are watching the Papa John 2017 New Brunswick Provincials Under 21 Men's and Ladies Championship. And this is brought to you by Bell Alliance TV1. And this championship's being played in Moncton, New Brunswick at Curl Moncton at 80 Lockhart Avenue. And we welcome our viewers to the second half of the game. This is the B bracket final between Liam Marin and from Thistle St. Andrews in St. John, and Michael Donovan from Curl Moncton.
I'd like to take this opportunity as we're getting going here in the 6th end to thank our other sponsors, Bob Lee Production, Modern Construction, 1983 Limited, Shoppers Drug Mart, and of course Bell Alliance.
And Liam looking to go on the attack again with a cornerstone. Michael Donovan looking to protect his one on the forefoot. Now this is interesting, Jacques, because when these two teams played against each other yesterday morning in the A bracket final, every single corner guard or cornerstone was asked to be put on the left-hand side of the rings. Nobody put one on the right-hand side, which we found kind of interesting. Even towards the end of the game, everything went on the left-hand side of the rings. Nothing went on the right side at all. And we were wondering what is the strategy behind that.
They seem to be doing the same thing again this game.
The same thing again this game, because every cornerstone coming down in the even ends anyway have been going on the left-hand side of the sheet, which is quite interesting.
Now, Liam has some room to remove that Donovan stone in the forefoot.
There's a bit of room. It's a long guard. However, I don't think he can see a whole. He might be able to see about half of it, I think.
Dylan's stone is off.
And Felipe trying to keep it somewhat straight. Looks like he might be touching the guard, maybe? No, he's by. He's by. Nice weight.
Yeah.
And that's the weight that you need, and he's getting a fairly nice roll out of it too, changing the shot for the Donovan team. That was really nice weight.
Donovan calling for a hit and roll.
That was really nice sweeping by Felipe as well to keep that rock straightened from clipping the guard there. So Matt McGee now throwing for Team Donovan, looking to remove this rock, and he's probably looking to try to get a little flip either on one side or the other. Try to get it partly buried. He's throwing a little bit more weight, so
this one seems to be by also. Hit, but
hit and stick.
Yeah.
Nice weight by Matt. Now with a couple front stones out there, I'm sure that the skippers are going to be itching at trying to get one partly buried, but we'll see if they can accomplish this.
Felipe with his first to the end. Liam calling off the rusher.
Looks like he's got a good chunk of it. Whether or not he's going to stay, because the rings are lively. Oh, no, really nice.
Yep.
Hard to tell from this angle.
So I think the first one that gets a little roll here behind cover could be sitting pretty. For the time being, they're just trading shots.
Matt McGee curling at 78%, so he's brought his numbers up a bit. Good for him. Michael here looking at trying to get a little bit of a roll.
He does get a bit of a roll.
A little bit, yeah.
Still exposed, but he changed the path of the next try.
Felipe now throwing for brother Liam. He's curling at 73%. Our numbers today are provided to us by our statistician, Marin McMaster. We thank her very much for her time.
To the other end. Will he stay in? Yes, he will.
Looks like he will. Nicely done.
And our timekeeper on our sheet is Ann McSheffrey. Thank her too for her time.
Michael looking at eliminating this rock at the back of the rings. Donovan Lontang now throwing. And he's curling at 83%. He's pretty having a good stable game today.
He might not stick around. He's got a piece of it, but
just want to make it go away at this point as well. It's good to stick, but
now they'll be looking to put rocks behind cover.
the Marin team curling at 70% and the Donovan team curling at a little bit higher at 80%. A lot of room by that guard, isn't there?
Yeah, that's going to be back in the house.
It's gonna be deep, I think. Well, Michael still has to deal with it somehow. Either deal with that or try to draw in a little higher, but he's electing to freeze onto the back line. Asking Donovan to do so.
Brusher getting on it.
A little bit of dusting there, keeping things clean. Starting to move now.
Yes, it's looking pretty good.
Nice weight.
Yeah.
Well judged by the brushers to let the skipper know where about this rock's going to land. So Tyler throwing his second rock. He's curling at 68% today.
It's good, Liam says. Starts to move now.
Move. It's taken its time this time.
Yes.
It might have been a little bit further out. There we go. Nice finish there. That was nice weight by Tyler.
Yeah. I think they're just going to pile on the rocks until they get to the tee line.
They're going to line them up.
Yeah.
Michael Donovan with his first rock. He's curling at 65% today. Each player usually has their own stones that they like to throw, and sometimes if one they think is cutting more than the other, they might want to use one over the other. They have some preferences, or they might like how one rock reacts more than the other, depending on the type of shot that's called. So
Well, they're in their third day of play, so they've curled on each sheet so far, and they know the rocks pretty well by now.
exactly.
players are staying off of this one for the time being.
Looks a little strong, does it? Maybe once it's
to
starting to move now. So once it starts to move, the weight really comes off. So that's got a really nice finish.
Maybe a little tap on that one. Yeah.
Nice shot by Michael.
Yeah. Okay, Liam comes in on that one. Will he be shot?
So this is Liam's first shot, so he's looking at trying to jiggle the rocks around to see how he can generate more than 1 point. So looks like he's going to throw some takeout weight here. So the way the rocks are lined up, we'll see. We'll see how things end up. Hoping to get more than 1 point here. So he needs to jiggle things around to get some separation with those rocks all back there. They're somewhat lined up, almost like in a little Christmas tree formation.
Get on it quite quick. One brush. A bit inside.
So Felipe trying to keep it somewhat straight.
Just squeezes by that front guard. And he moves the rocks around.
That was a nice shot by Liam. Moved all those rocks back there, so it looks like he's lying three.
Yes. I wouldn't have thought that it was possible.
Yeah. The angles were there to move both those blue ones, so looks like that blue one, the back of the 12 foot seems to be number 4 rock.
Yeah.
Seems. Michael Donovan with his last rock. So what he's trying to do is to hit this yellow rock that's partly biting the center line, and just get about 1/4 of a rock, and trying to get a double out of this to make sure that the Marin team doesn't get more than doesn't get a whole bunch here.
Way.
Yeah, whoa is usually a good sign.
He's got 1, he's got 2.
Nice shot.
Good shot. He's now lying 1.
So Liam Marin now has to get a nose hit to get his 2. Certainly doesn't have too much room to roll if he wants to get his 2.
Just a quick update on sheet 7. Lewis team out of Curl-Moncton has stolen another 2 in the 6th end, so they're up 4-1 on Peasley.
The Marin with the last rock in the 6th end, looking for a nose hit for his 2.
Calls off the brush. Soft weight.
Nicely done.
And stays for 2.
His first 2.
So that puts the Marin team up 4-2 after 6 ends.
Lots of action here this weekend at Curl-Moncton. After this afternoon draw, the next draw is here this evening at 6:30, and there will be 3 games on. And tomorrow, tentatively, there's 3 draws at well at 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. So I'm not sure about that, or 6:30. I'm not sure about that 6:30 draw tomorrow evening. It might depend on where the teams are at with if anybody who does go through undefeated, that draw might or might not happen. I'm not 100% sure. It'll depend on where the teams end up.
Yeah, it's a triple knockout, so they once every other team has lost 3 games, or if there are no more teams left to play,
That's right.
The team's gone undefeated either on the boys' end or the girls' end, and they probably don't need to play that last draw.
That's right.
Just a reminder, too, that Carl Moncton will be hosting the New Brunswick Scotties Ladies Championship in January, going from January 3 till January 7th into the new year. All the events are moved up a bit earlier because it's an Olympic year. Whenever that happens, they get the provincial play downs earlier to get the nationals in earlier and make room for the teams that are going to be playing in the Olympics.
So Liam asking Dylan to put another stone just either just off the rings or just biting. Oh, he's indicating 8 foot, I guess. So Liam at this point in time would like to play into the rings.
Donovan put in
a little bit deep.
A corner guard to start off with. Again on the left side, his left.
So he's looking at trying to hit and get a little bit of a roll behind that corner guard and trying to make use of that the cornerstone.
Josh is going with his second.
He's going to get something. We'll see whereabouts this rock is going to roll. Is he rolling out? It looks like it.
Yeah.
It all depends on where they hit.
I needed to curl a bit more.
That one of those yellow rocks stayed in the rings, but it's well behind the tee line, so it's not a overly big concern for the Donovan team at this point in time. They can still use it to freeze up on it, but Liam is looking to remove any type of front stone there so that Michael can't hide behind and generate some offense. Nicely done. A lot of weight there by Felipe, and that seems to be his strength.
Donovan is calling to remove that.
To remove it, yeah. Asking Matt to remove the rock.
Nicely done by Matt.
Nice weight.
Do the same thing. It seems to be hanging out a bit there.
Just an update on sheet 6. Cody Lewis is leading Alex Peasley by a score of 4-1, and they are playing the 7th end. Took that out, but just hanging over on a little bit on the wing, aren't they? Matt McGee with his second rock, looking to remove this and then hopefully bite the rings and stick around. Playing it fairly clean this end.
Yeah, he's going to hit and stay. Liam calling for the removal of that one, so they're going to be keeping the house clean.
Tyler now throwing for Liam. Also looking to stick around in the ring, so they're
Yep.
they're inching closer towards the tee line, slowly.
Not wasting too much time in between the shots. It's a fairly straightforward call. Shot
That's
to
right.
shot.
Playing a little bit conservative this game. This one's moving. Has he got it?
He's got a small piece of it.
Just enough to get it out.
And he
Wow.
rolls out.
Each team has 2 90-second timeouts, and this includes travel time for the coaches. So their thought process there is going to take a good 30 seconds for the coaches to get out. So they allow each team 90 seconds timeout, and Team Marin has used one of their timeouts, and Team Donovan still has both theirs. And they each get 2 timeouts per game, so if you don't use it, you lose it. So it's not like you can carry over your timeouts, although some teams it would be great to carry over all these timeouts.
Yes. I was a bit surprised that
Put them in the bank.
Team Marine used theirs up quite early in the game.
Well, there were a lot of rocks in play, so sometimes you have to be careful. You know, you don't want to make a mistake early, because then sometimes you're climbing that hill trying to get back in the game. So they just wanted to make sure they get it right. So still playing with a clean end here. Liam now throwing his first rock. He's moved on to the other half of the rings.
In the game on sheet 8, Tracy has scored 1 in the 6, so now they trail Team Robichaud 5-4 after 6 ends.
So each team also has 38 minutes of what we call talk time. So once the rocks come to rest, the clock starts while they're talking and making a decision on what shot they want to play. So, and these teams, both these teams have a lot of time left. Team Donovan having 17.5 minutes, and Team Marin having almost 16.5 minutes. So they have more than enough time to play the last couple ends of this game.
Time will not be an issue.
It will not. No, they don't even have to call a timeout to have a discussion. They can just have a discussion and use a couple minutes off their clock. So good time management on their part. Although they've played a few ends without too many rocks in play, so that's not a bad thing either. That's how you bank your time sometimes.
Marine will want to hit the stay, and he'll make Donovan. Oh, he rolls out, so it'll be an easy blank for Donovan. Or not.
No, I think they'll be blanking. I want to try to generate more than 1 point, so
Yeah.
probably start with guards up or front stones up for the next end.
Yeah, that's through the house. So blank in the 7th, going to the 8, 4-2. Marine up on Donovan.
So you're watching the Papa John, New Brunswick Provincial Championships Under 21 Men's and Ladies Championships. And this is brought to you by Bella Line, TV1. And we are featuring the game between Liam Marin and Michael Donovan. Liam Marin is from Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John, and Michael Donovan is from the host Curl Moncton here.
Another update on sheet 7. The Lewis team has stolen another 3 points. They're up 7-1 on Peasley. Peasley had taken a 1-0 lead, and Lewis has scored 7 unanswered points.
This one going just slipping through the rings for Team Marine. So Michael looking at, he's asking Josh to put up a cornerstone.
And of course on the left side.
Of course on the left side. See, that I'm not sure there's something with that. I guess they don't like their out turns, maybe? I don't know. To go on the other side, because it's really weird.
Unless they read something in the ice that we haven't seen.
Well, either the ice or maybe their opponents. Maybe they want their opponents to throw
Could be, yeah.
in turns. It's hard to tell, but yeah.
House.
Bring it in. Top of the rings.
Yep. Yeah, should get there.
Nice weight. Michael going to use that cornerstone, asking Josh to come around that stone he just put there. So we'll see how much this is gonna curl.
Going for a bit of offense there, leaving that last stone from Marin up there.
At this point in time, it's not a big concern for him. He doesn't mind leaving that there for now.
Exactly.
So he needs to try to generate a bit of offense and try to bring his own stones into the rings to count. This is a little short by Josh, but
it's still biting.
It's not a bad rock. You can still utilize it.
Him choosing to remove it. Felipe's first stone. Pressure's out. They're on it now. Off, on.
Nice little roll there.
Yep.
Both teams have brought their team averages up. Team Marine curling at 75%, and Team Donovan curling at 82%, so they both brought their team averages up, which is good.
Donovan is leading in average, but trailing where it counts.
It just goes to show that an average is only a number. It's all depends on when and where the shots are made and missed. So
yes,
that's huge. Matt McGee now throwing for Team Donovan. I think he's looking at trying to remove both these rocks. He's just going to get one, I think. Yeah. Just sit on top of the other one. That's not a bad shot. No.
Yeah.
They can. So it certainly forces Liam to deal with this. Either deal with this or deal with the corner guard.
Yeah.
So. Having a little bit of a team discussion. It's a team effort as well, because the thrower has to be comfortable with what they're throwing, and then the sweepers have to realize what kind of weight is being thrown and what speed they're going to be running down the ice.
Or we could say it's a family discussion.
We could say that.
Between Liam and Felipe.
Exactly. And you get Coach Felipe right there.
Yes.
Father.
Yes, he's like to try for the gets the guard out.
Moving corner guard.
Yep.
So this is a good situation for Michael. Looking at replacing that cornerstone up there. It's a smart move on his part to leave those two alone because it's only Matt McGee's second or first. Is this first or second?
It's second.
Second shot.
Yeah.
So it's good to try to generate some more offense by putting another cornerstone up.
This one seems to be a bit heavy. Could come into the rings.
So Matt certainly has brought his numbers up. He's currently at 84%.
Yeah, so,
yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate to come into the rings there.
Those lined up if thinking if Liam, the two rocks on the top, blue on yellow, I don't think they're perfectly lined up, so yellow end up in the back blue.
Called him off right away. Must have been a little bit full of the room.
He's got a piece of it. Will he stay? Yep, so
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
So Donovan Lontang now throwing for Team Donovan. He's asked to remove this rock and try to roll into the rings.
Going for the out turn.
Rusher right away. I think this is going to move.
Not sure he's going to get a piece of it. It looks like it could be gone.
I think so. That's unfortunate. Liam looking at removing this. So Liam doesn't want any part of any blue anywhere close to the rings. He's looking at getting rid of this, even though
didn't mind
he
losing
loses
his
his
other
own.
shots.
His
No.
own, yeah. Pretty clean rings once again, Jock.
Yeah. So does he? Yeah. So Donovan's still trying to score in this end. He gets the perfect freeze. Well,
I think that's the discussion. Do you want to freeze or do you want to hit? So I think he's looking at trying to hit and stick there. That one spot.
he got it this time.
This time?
Yeah.
He does.
It
Didn't
stays.
stick.
So
Liam not wasting time. He's already in the hack. I think he was up there before the shot came down. So
yeah.
with a clean rings, it's pretty. They pretty well know what they're going to do, what the call is going to be.
Yeah, he'll hit and
hits,
stick. Or no, he won't be.
No.
Yeah. So Donovan will try to move it around. Just
Going
change
to
the shot.
the other end of the other side of the rings, is he?
Yeah.
So Donovan, Josh, and Matt all curl out of Curl Moncton. Donovan Lontang has joined them. He curls out he's from Bathurst, so.
And on the Marin team, well, the Marin brothers, they curl out of Thistle St. Andrews, and Alan McDonald curls out of Gage Golf and Curling Club. And Tyler, well, he's from the island, but he's studying here in Moncton at he's a student at Transport Training Center.
Trying to bring this into the rings. Skipper brought his numbers up. He's curling at 75%, so it's well done by the brushers to bring this in the rings. And having Liam throw to the other end of the rings. looking at removing this. And ideally, it'd be good for Liam to stick there and force Michael to throw a takeout weight rather than just tossing it through the rings for his blank. So it looks like he will be staying.
A little bit of a roll.
A little bit of a roll to change the path of the shot. So
making it further for Donovan to hit and roll out.
To hit and roll out. But Michael Donovan looking at hitting and rolling out for his blank. This is the last shot in the 8th end. I guess they didn't put the 7th end up there, but we are in the 8th end because they blanked the 7th as well.
The 7th, exactly. It's on its way. Good weight.
Looks pretty good for blank.
Yeah.
And
Blue rolls out, so after 8 end, we're still 4-2 for Team Marin.
So you are watching the Papa John 2017 New Brunswick Under 21 Men's and Ladies Championships, and this is brought to you by Bell Alliant TV. And this championship would not be, it's very difficult to run a championship like this without corporate sponsors as well, so Papa John being the main sponsor. Other sponsors who are helping are Bob Lee Productions, Modern Construction Limited, and Shoppers Drug Mart as well, and we thank you very much for your support.
Also like to take this opportunity to thank Kathy Robertson, the chairperson of the Under 21 Junior Championship, and her committee of Joan Reed, Doug Stockhall, Greg Weston, Sheila Oikos, Mike Minns, Ellery Robichaud, and Tony Benoit. They've put in quite a bit of time in getting this event ready.
Just an update on sheet 8. The Peter Robichaud is up on Adam Tracy by a score of 6-4, and they're in the 8th end.
And on sheet 7, Beasley scored 2 in the 8th. Down 7-3, playing in the 9th. At one point, this game here on sheet 9 between Donovan and Marin, they were the slow 3 games, but because of those blank ends, they've picked up some time, and they're pretty much playing at a good pace.
Yeah, they each have 14 minutes to play, to complete the send and play in the 10th end, so they've got lots of time. And Team Donovan still has 2 timeouts, and Team Marin has 1 timeout, so. And that would be for the coaches to come out to have a discussion with them, because and see what other opportunities are.
That's a nice shot here. Just comes in quiet weight, moves the yellow off the button, and they stick around on the edge of the fort. But Liam will call for the removal of that blue stone. Ask his brother to take that out.
Roll out of the rings, I believe.
Yeah.
Matt McGee now throwing, and Michael asking Matt to draw around that front stone and hopefully in front of the tee line to try to generate 2 points.
These two teams certainly know each other well. They've played each other often enough, and Matt McGee and Donovan haven't played with Liam Marin last year in the Canadian Under-18, so all these guys know each other very well.
Oh, there's a nice stone. Is it going to stop in time?
Back of the button.
Right on the button. It's a nice shot. Liam now asking brother Felipe to throw a run back. Trying to remove, and at this point he doesn't really care whether or not he sticks, as his main focus at this point in time is to remove that rock that was just put there by Matt McGee.
That's exactly what he does.
Nicely done. He still leaves a centerline stone there for Donovan to go around, but his main focus was to remove the blue one.
And let's see if Matt can repeat his beautiful stone that he previously threw. On that quite quick.
They did.
I'm not sure if he
looks to be a little bit lighter.
Yeah, he's on the.
It's on the front stone. Yeah, a little bit less weight than his last one. Not necessarily a bad spot though, Jacques, because depending what Liam does here, I know he's asking for peel, but at least once this is said and done, there still might be a front stone out there that Michael can utilize.
Yeah, Liam would want to clean out that front of the house. He's got the blue, the yellow will stay.
Still a stone there for him to go around. And if he can position it just right, might be a little bit harder for Liam to remove, because there's still that other yellow rock in the back of the 4-foot that you could utilize as a catcher. So Donovan Lontang, his first rock. Donovan from Bathurst, playing with the Moncton boys.
Is he by the front one? They wait too long before brushing that.
It's going to be pretty close. Oh,
Yep,
just a rub. That weight looked pretty good. I think he might have just stopped at the top of the 8-foot though, because it took a bit of a rub and rolled in the 12-foot. So I'm not sure, but not bad weight. Marine team having a bit of a discussion. They have lots of time to have a discussion as to what they want to do. They still have 12 and a half minutes left.
Yeah, Tyler Smith going back down the ice to make sure that they understand each other. At this point, I don't think that Liam would mind giving up one, coming home with the hammer, being up by one.
So I think what Liam is looking at here is to hit his own rock on the high side and clipping the blue and opening the front up, because he knows that Michael's going to keep utilizing that front stone to try to generate more than 1 point, especially where that other rock's sitting in the back of the 4-foot, because that could certainly be used to save some rocks for him. A lot of weight coming down here from
Yep.
Tyler.
It's looking pretty good.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Sweep his own out to not leave any backing for Donovan.
Exactly. Mission accomplished. Very nice shot.
Donovan trying to utilize that
Well,
corner guard. He wants
indicating timeout. Team's calling a timeout. Just see they want to. We're going to bring Coach Darrell out there and have a further discussion with what they're going. I would think at this point, instead of hitting that one in the back of the rings, I think it might be a good idea to go utilize that corner guard and try to bring one around there now to generate his 2 points.
If he can hit that, if he hits that and doesn't move that exactly where he wanted to, behind the guard, I mean it's open for a takeout, so there's no way that Donovan could score two.
Yeah, he'd be conceding to just taking one, wouldn't he? But this way, if he could put one behind that corner guard and generate something there, and that would be that could be his bonus.
Exactly. So again, they have 90 seconds. That includes travel time by the coach to get to the sheet of ice and discussion time with the team.
So they each have two 90-second timeouts, and this is Donovan's first timeout, and Marin already has used one, so they each have another timeout left.
An update on the other games going on. Lewis is up 7-3 in the ninth end, and Robichaud is up 6-4 on Tracy, and they're playing in the eighth end.
Just a note as well for the ladies. There was 4 teams in the ladies draw, so Justine Como has won bracket A and bracket B, so she is waiting for a bracket C team to meet her tomorrow morning. So this evening's game will be Crook versus Clough, and they're playing at 6. That game will play Justine Como tomorrow morning.
So as we figured, they're going to draw behind that corner guard, try to hide that one and generate 2 points.
Yeah, and I think this is a good idea. It's a good time to go around because that other it's in the back of the rings and it's wide open. So if he could, they could bear, and it's looking really good.
It is looking not too bad.
Wow, nice shot.
Very nice.
Very nice. Perfect.
Top of the tee line at that too.
So good shot by Donovan. I believe that's what they were asking, because you can't can't see a whole lot of it to remove it, so it's going to be very tricky to remove.
I think they might go for the no. He's going to try to remove it. I thought maybe they'd go for the try to hit the guard onto that.
Well, probably what they're going to try to do with that amount of ice, Jock, is to throw like a back line between backline and hack weight, and just kind of clip it out to the side. So they'll have the brushes will really have to communicate the weight to the to Tyler in the rings and let him know. And the brushing's good here as far as getting that rock by that front stone.
A very delicate shot here.
Very delicate, yeah. He's starting to move now, whether or not there's going to be enough movement.
He's by the guard.
Just by.
And
nice shot.
Very nice shot.
Well done. Lots of movement there. He threw more than backline to hack.
It is.
There's a lot of movement over there, so obviously he knew to throw a good control weight and get by the guard. Well done. A lot of it as well.
He had perfect weight on that.
Very nice.
Especially to save his shooter. And the game seems to be over on sheet 9. The Lewis team from Crow-Moncton took 4 in the 9th, and ends. They The game goes in as 11-3 Lewis over Peasley.
So it looks, from the amount given, it looks like they're going to throw some kind of a freeze here. So probably freeze on the on that stone that's closer to the tee line.
Again, it's the only way he can try to generate 2 points here.
Exactly. He needs to hope for from the Marin team. Michael Donovan now throwing for Curl Moncton. This has a lot of moving to do. The brush has never touched it all the way down.
Yeah, he's up a bit against the other one, just bumped off a bit. But I think he's lying at 2.
Second shot.
Yeah, second shot.
So Liam still has the opportunity to remove this, and he could be sitting 1 or 2 depending where his shooter goes, and then force Donovan, Michael Donovan to take 1.
At best, to take 1, if that's the case.
This is Liam's second shot. Throwing a fair amount of weight here.
Rusher gets on it right away.
Felipe trying to keep it straighter.
Looks pretty good.
Nicely done.
Moves it and stays.
So Marin sitting 2. So now Michael Donovan needs the 4 foot for his 1. So these shots are not always gimmies.
No.
Michael Donovan coming down with his last rock in the 9th end. Brushers indicating that there seems to be enough weight there, so just have to make sure to get a piece of that 4 foot. Some of the rocks have slid through, so there's no backing right now from the way it's moving. So nicely done by the brushers. Well done.
Good weight. Got a piece of the button. So they score 1, and they're trailing 4-3 going into the last end, the 10th end. So they need to steal to either tie or win.
And on the next sheet over, to give you an update, they are also in the 9th end. So it is Peter Robichaud leading Adam Tracy by a score of 6-5, and they're playing in the 9th end. They're almost an end behind our game, but I've been peeking over there, and they've, I don't know if they've had too many ends where there's hardly been any rocks. They've had a whole bunch of rocks in just about every end. So,
they have, yes. And on sheet 7, the Lewis team, they move into a game this evening against Marin. They'll be playing at 6:30 this evening here at Curl Moncton. So in that game, Lewis needs to beat Marin to stay alive. Marin, well, they've already qualified bracket A, and depending on what they do here, they could qualify out of bracket B too.
And the game that you'll be seeing on the web this evening will be a ladies' game between Crook and Team Clough, and that will be at 6:30 on the TV One Bell Alliant.
This one could be back of the house. It should stay.
And I believe there's also a second game, Jacques, that they're showing on the web. So that'll be probably between Team Donovan and the winner of Team Robichaud and Team Tracy.
Sheet 9.
No, this sheet will be the ladies' game, but they're showing 2 games on the web. Sheet 7 as well.
He had asked for a second guard up there. It came in a bit further than he would have liked.
So Liam looking to remove that because his thought process is he doesn't want any of the opposing rocks in there to do any damage.
It on an angle and moves it and leaves his stone yellow in the back of the house.
So Tyler's had not Tyler, Dylan's had a pretty consistent game at 78. Josh had a really good game at 93%. Matt McGee's playing at 81%, so those guys have been playing pretty consistent. Michael Donovan trying to offense here, so looking to put another rock out front.
That's going to probably slip into the house too.
Looks like it is.
Liam will remove his brother to remove that stone.
So brother Felipe is curling at 79%. So. A lot of weight coming down here, so of course Liam is not worried about keeping his stones in play. He wants stones out of play as well as the opponent. So
just got a piece.
Yeah, as long as he gets a piece of it, make it go away is the thought process there.
Michael Donovan calling for the same shot for the 3rd time in a row.
And he'll probably be doing that. He's only down by 1, so you need 1 to tie and throw it into the end. So and this opposing rock is in the back of the ring, so that's not a big concern to him just yet. He wants to try to generate some offense by putting some front stones out there and then hopefully being able to bring some in afterwards. Certainly wants to come around that top one there for sure. He doesn't want to disturb that one because that's in a really good spot, so he wants to try to separate them as much as he can. He doesn't want to set up a double.
This one will stay out of the house. Top, front, good distance, but he'll try to get both of those.
Yeah, a little up. This gives Felipe a chance to fire a bullet down there and remove both those rocks.
One out, but he moves the other, stays up there. So, Donovan will try to use that one.
Asking Donovan Lontang to put a front stone up there. Pressure's communicating the weight.
Looks pretty good.
Good spot. Those 2 blue rocks are nicely separated, so
yes,
it doesn't. There's a possible double there, but it's a really hard one. And with that yellow one in the back, it's dangerous to try to do that. So
Yeah.
Liam's just going to go remove that rock that was just put there by the Donovan team.
Tyler's first stone here.
A lot of weight coming down. Felipe sweeping to try to keep it somewhat straight. Nicely done.
And he'll roll out. Michael calling for the same shot again. Oh, calling timeout.
Oh. So they're going to use their second timeout. They want to talk about where to put this rock. So Coach Daryl now will be coming out, and they'll have a bit of a discussion as far as where to put this rock. So as far as where to put this rock, where they don't have last rock, I think I'd want to try to clog up the center, because if they put it towards the side, well, that gives Liam a chance to the button with his last rock. So you want to try to cover up the button and then try to get in there before he does. So, but I'm not sure what the.
So do we look at lining it up with the yellow in the back of the 8?
Yeah, either lining it up or try to block the center line, and Liam may make a mistake and jam it back. So there's different thought process here as far as trying to go into steal mode, because the Donovan team, they need to steal. So you don't want to keep the center line and the button open. You want to try to clog that up a little bit. I certainly understand his thought process in going a little bit off center to try to kind of load things up over there, but by doing that, you're giving Liam the opportunity to still have access to the button, which you don't really want to do right now. You want to kind of cover that up. So we'll see where the broom goes and what the call is. Oh, he's going in.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's why they're out there.
It's a bit of a change from what he was going to call. He wanted it up on top of the 12, just biting the 12. So I think Coach Daryl Nolan has probably told him to start bringing them in.
Start bringing them in, yeah. And maybe he'll get a mistake from the team. So we'll see where this stops. Thought process too. I guess this is Donovan's second shot, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's pretty close to where he called for it, top of the 4-foot. But it is exposed. So as you mentioned, Team Donovan needs a miss by Team Marin. Mistake.
So the 9th end has not been posted, but Team Marin is leading Team Donovan by a score of 4-3, and this is the 10th end in this game.
That one's by the guard. And
nice shot.
So he'll call for the same shot.
So by looking at this, by going behind that guard, if he can get a good chunk of the 4-foot, and if he's buried, it'll be a little bit harder for Liam to get at that rock. So. And they're still going over on the left-hand side of the rings.
Yes, they are.
So this is Michael Donovan's first shot in the 10th end. Looking to draw one. Biting the 4-foot behind that cornerstone.
Starting to brush it. One brush.
This is moving quickly.
It could be out on the
I think he's
guard.
on the front. Yeah. That moved quickly out of his hand, so I don't know if he started that or what happened there.
So Liam went right away to indicate he wants to remove that guard.
For sure, yeah. He doesn't want that there.
And
that spells trouble.
By missing that shot, he also Donovan also moved his corner guard further to the corner, so he to be able to come in and score one. He has to come up to his yellow one if Liam removes his front card.
So I'm sure we'll see quite a bit of weight coming down here from Liam to remove this, because he certainly doesn't want any rocks out there. Wants them to roll away as far as they can.
They seem to be just cleaning the front of the stone, so I think he's happy with his stone.
Nice shot. So now Michael has to the back one, because like you said, Jock, with that front stone being pushed over a bit, now he doesn't have much of a choice but come back here.
Donovan setting up for this stone in this 10th end.
Taking a little extra time, wants to make sure he gets it right. Brusher's keeping an eye on it.
On and off.
On and off is usually a good sign. Nice shot.
Yep.
That's probably the best he could have done. The only thing it gives the... Now, oh, he's going for the nose hit, I guess.
Marin, he makes
this is a little
Liam
bit dangerous.
Throw. Yeah, he has to throw his shot. Going to.
He really needs a nose hit, because depending where he hits, it looks like it's gonna probably jam on the back. So, and if his shooter rolls a little bit too far.
Well, if he hits it on the corner too, and he gets, he
could have a blank end.
Clean the house and blank
And,
end.
yeah.
Wouldn't hurt him.
Wouldn't hurt him at all, no. So we'll see what kind of weight comes down here.
Yeah, big weight. That's what he's looking to do. In the corner.
Nice shot.
Yep.
Well done.
Blanks the end. And goes down as 4-3 for Liam Marin, Team Marin. And just a quick update before we go on sheet 8. There, after 9 ends, Peter Robichaud has scored 1 in the 9th, so they're up 7-5 now, playing the last end. And we'll play the winner of the Robichaud-Tracy game tonight at 6:30, and Liam Marin will play the Lewis team at 6:30 tonight also.
And also tonight there will be a ladies' game between Crook and Clough, and the winner of that game will go up against Justine Como. That game would be tomorrow morning.
So if you want to see some good curling, come on down to Curl Moncton this evening at 6:30 for tonight's draw. There's plenty of room to accommodate you, so and it's great curling. Thank you, Marianne. It was a pleasure.
It's a pleasure, and thank you very much for joining us in the 2017 Papa John's Under 21 Men's and Ladies Curling Championships, brought to you by Bella Light, and we'll be signing off, and the next draw